The king had an insatiable hunger for collecting crowns. To feed this craving, Noah began stealing crowns through despicable means. First, Noah went to the Mouse Kingdom. Just as the Mouse King was about to welcome him, Noah cruelly cracked open the Mouse King's skull and placed the royal crown upon his own head. After the Mouse King's death, his subjects became homeless. They had no choice but to seek refuge under the rule of whoever possessed the crown. From the castle walls, Noah saw the mice fleeing for their lives. He set up a mousetrap baited with cheese and wiped them all out. The next day, a goat sat atop a mountain, gazing down upon the world. When it raised its head to nibble on mountain grass, the crown upon its head slipped onto a cloud. From that cloud, the Cloud King was born. Heavy rain began to pour, and as the raindrops fell upon a pumpkin, the pumpkin came to life. It became the Pumpkin King, but at the very moment it awoke, Noah crushed it in his hands and claimed its green crown as his own. Soon, the Pumpkin King's crown began to wither, and from within it crawled out the Fly King. Noah showed no mercy once again. He killed it and wore its crown as a ring upon his finger. Suddenly, the ground outside the palace trembled. The long-dormant Serpent King had awakened. Noah swiftly climbed the topic and ended its life with a dagger. He hurried toward the fallen crown, but the Serpent King's body collapsed and slid away. With a flick of its tongue, the serpent sent Noah tumbling off the cliff and into the sea. There, he pulled from the depths the deep-sea fish king and added its crown to his growing collection. Under Noah's relentless plundering and slaughter, the number of refugees beneath his castle grew and grew, yet Noah remained unsatisfied. He even coveted the crown of the mountain god. He transformed his castle into a war machine and launched an assault against the mountain god, but his attacks had no effect at all. So he leapt into the mountain god's crown. Inside, he found a world overflowing with flowers, a sea of blossoms, fragrant and boundless. The intoxicating aroma overwhelmed his senses and drove him into hallucination. He raised his dagger and severed his own finger. Losing too much blood, he died in that sea of flowers. After death, Noah found himself in a room filled with kings, all the ones he had slain. Death stood before him, pointing to a chair, motioning for him to sit. But Noah's gaze was fixed on the crown upon Death's head. He climbed onto the table, attempting to seize it for himself. With a mere wave of Death's hand, Noah was flung back into the chair. Again and again, he attacked until Death's patience ran thin. Death slammed him into the chair with great force. When Noah finally realized that he could never defeat Death, he folded a handkerchief into a false crown. But even that fake crown was taken from him by Death. Noah screamed in madness. At last, Death sighed and handed him the crown. Noah placed it upon his head and fled the room in panic. He leapt into the endless void, and there, he would remain forever, bound eternally to the crown.